What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about LCX token today. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. Here we are at about 15.5 cents now, dropping a little bit today, and that's okay. We are well within this flag here. I don't even know if it's a flag anymore at this rate, but it is a nice kind of phase down, consolidation phase down from these November pumps that we had, I guess, end of October, November pumps going into December. Low to high, you've been very constructive on the way down, all the way down to your golden ratio area. Finding resistance at the 0.5 now does leave the door open to go to your 786, 886 area. And from the current price, that would imply anything from about a 28% drop to potentially a 40% drop. Now, can LCX see something like that? Yes. Yes, it can. Is it in trouble? No. No. It's fine. It doesn't have to. It doesn't have to go that low, but it's something below this low, I think, is to be anticipated, right? Um, Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but here we are. The minimum target would be about 28 cents, or sorry, 28% away. 28 cents would be a good target to have, right? Compared to these targets, at least, it's not that good, but it's better than these targets, that's for sure. Anything can happen. I will say that the best way to kind of deconfirm these targets would be that before Bitcoin sees its drop, and I think that Bitcoin will drop probably sometime over the coming days. We'll see this drop happen. Before that happens, if LCX can get a nice little pump, then this 28% drop that would make sense. Maybe it only goes down. Maybe it's a higher low. Maybe we come back to these areas. You know what I mean? Maybe it's not even a 28% drop. The only reason why I'm in what's what I'm looking for? Enticing, encouraging. That's not right. Accepting, I guess. The only reason why I'm accepting this as a notion that we could drop down to the 786 is because I anticipate the average coin is going to drop 20 to 30%. But if it's like 20% to 30%, 28% is on the higher end of that. I don't see you stopping at your golden ratio, like somewhere in between here in the 786. It would only make sense to me to go to the 786 or lower. If we put a line right there, we put a line here at the 786, we put a line here at the 886, and when I say or lower, I don't think we'll go lower than the 886, but somewhere in between there is what I think. You've got prior areas of support here, just a little bit below, but still support here, resistance there. Some support there, actually on a wicking basis right there. A little bit of resistance in this zone as well. Resistance there. Turbulence overall in this area, but it's not the most significant area at all. But from the relative fibs, it makes a little bit of sense. Either that, you guys, or LCX is in trouble. The exchange is about to go under, and we're going to see dramatically lower prices. You're going to go all the way down to prices that are below this low, and you'll see this 786. But that's hard for me to accept because that's a 61% drop, man. I don't see that happening. It could happen. I accept it as a possibility, but I don't think it's going to happen. I don't know though. Who knows? Anything can happen. Anything's there's a lot of cryptos every single cycle. There are cryptos that people really count on to do well that flop even in the middle of the bull cycle. Something happens, the exchange gets hacked, people run away with the money, they become insolvent through fraudulent spending or improper handling of funds, whatever you want to call it. I don't think that's what's happening with LCX. I think that they are in a very proper position to see some intense growth. I'm just saying, if you don't accept this as a possibility, you're lying to yourself. It really could happen, but I don't think it'd be a good thing to take out these lows, right? I really don't think it'd be a good thing. So I don't expect that we will. Not because I don't think it would be a good thing, but because it just doesn't make sense. I think LCX is a good exchange. I think that it's a compliant exchange in the EU. In the EU, it's based out of Liechtenstein, and it's got ISO compliance, which is not necessarily the easiest thing to do. It's not financial advice, not a financial advisor. It's not really good to be compliant with some of these hellish regulations that they have in various parts of the world, or various software. What would it even be a software? What am I trying to say? ISO, the app stores, whatever, the app store there. I'm using words that I don't know. It's not necessarily easy, nor is it encouraging, in my opinion, to encourage or kiss up to these kind of regulatory behaviors. But the fact that you're one of the few, if not one of the first, to be this heavily integrated in some of the harder regulated areas for crypto, that sets you apart, and that can definitely open up the doors to business and make this thing pretty prominent, right? And same kind of thing with XRP. It's one of the more regulated cryptos, but it's one of the top coins, right? That doesn't mean regulation is necessarily a good thing, but it provides clarity. And when you have clarity, you don't have uncertainty. And when you don't have uncertainty, that gives big players enough nerve to get involved with some serious money, right? And that can cause some serious growth. And we're anticipating that for LCX. We definitely are or at least I am expecting that we will see this shelf here being broken, and that we will continue to run to the upside. Platform, I think, was the word, not software. Platform. Anyways, high to low here. If and when we go lower, I like that. Let's see, what would that be? Is that same area? Yeah, man, that 236, I like that. Something at around probably 11.5 cents to 11 cents. That's where you're going to find support. You're at 15.5 cents now. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. This is not me saying sell your LCX. I haven't sold mine, right? I'm not saying you should sell yours. But yeah, that's just my thoughts. Whenever it does come time from the current price, I do believe that we'll break out to new all-time highs, and I don't think that you've consolidated since April 2024 until April 2025. I don't think that you've consolidated this long for a year to stop at your minimum target, right? Just that's my perspective. I can be wrong, but I don't think so. You probably do break out to new all-time highs, and with that, I think that you make a run for $1, man. I think LCX makes a straight shot for $1. That'd be a 6x, 7x from here. Probably closer to a 7x, honestly. 15.5 cent price now. Prospects to go to around 11 to 12 cents, somewhere in that area. Finding support at your 236. Right here. If I can get it. Come on now. A little bit lower. Right there. Which is also at your prior resistance point on a monthly basis here, right at this little like focal point there. Prior support on these months here. Absolutely, I think that you can run higher. And you probably do run higher. It's just going to be a matter of time. You have a little flush to go down, and if you do bounce at this area that I think you do, that 8x moves turns into a 9x move, right? No, I'm sorry. That's a 7x move turns into a 9x move, and yeah, that's pretty awesome. And potentially, possibly, you do see higher prices than that. Even you could. I don't know if you do. I think $1.10, that'll provide significant resistance. But if you do go higher, you could see $2, $1.70, somewhere in that kind of area there. That would be an overall, if you go to the areas that I'm thinking, that'd be an overall like 14x to a potential 17, 18x, let alone from the current prices. It's about a 10x to a 12x, right, on the upper end of things, 13x on the upper end of things. So that's what my expectations are after this move. When it comes to the end of the cycle, and again, I think that it'll be most appropriate to gauge where this thing is going to be by the end of the cycle after this next move comes, after we know what we're dealing with, right? How robust it is and how bullish it is, we'll see. But let's see here. If we take a relative high here, all-time high to the all-time low here, most of the time, cycle after cycle, if cryptos do move higher, they see their 1618 to 2272. My only problem is this came out right at the end of the bull cycle. So is this a fair high to measure from? I don't know. But let's put this one back on and see. Let's see if this lines up with anything. I could see it going to $10. I could see it happening. Yeah, 100x from here, not so much, but it's something above a 60x, 70x area that could happen. Could you do 100x? Absolutely. You're at $146 million. A 100x would be a $16 billion market cap. Probably, actually, it's just under $15 billion market cap from here, let alone if you go higher. So could this thing do a 100x? Sure, it could. But again, is it appropriate to consider that as a likelihood? I don't know. A possibility, yes, but a likelihood, I don't know. Is it appropriate to consider $4 as a likelihood? I don't know. Could it be $36? It could be. Could you see a 300x? Could you see a 400x? A 700x? Maybe not a 700x. You probably don't go all the way up to $100, but something around $30, $40. That's kind of on the higher end of things of what I accept as a possibility personally. That doesn't mean you can't go higher. You could. Again, it's not really appropriate, I guess, to gauge where we're going to be until after this move resolves itself. So if we stop at $1, if we stop right there at $1, cool. I think there's a very strong chance that you do see $10. I really do. And from here, that's like a 70x, 60x potential. There's a strong chance as well that you can see $30 to $40, if you go to $1. If after this next move, you stop at your all-time high area, maybe we take $30 to $40 off and we equate that with a $10 to $15 maximum potential. And maybe if not there, maybe you stop at like 470 at a minimum, something like that. Or even lower. Nothing's promised. You don't have to see a 20x or more from here, but I do think the average coin will see a 25x or more from here. Average coin not being every coin, right? But just like the average coin is what I'm kind of anticipating, but we'll see. I don't really have anything else that I want to say. I think it's clear what I'm saying here, right? LCX is going to go down. We're going to move up afterwards. We'll probably consolidate around $1 or find resistance around $1 and then consolidate back around your all-time highs. And then on that next run up, you'll probably see a move that takes you anywhere from like $3 to $5, somewhere in that zone. Consolidate again, have your cycle ending finale, and then you'll run up to like $10 to $15. If you're at a faster pace than that, we can talk about $30 to $40 more openly. If you're at a slower pace than that, maybe we should be more conservative, but we'll see how it goes. None of this is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care of yourselves. Hit the like button. Subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.